My name is Margaret in Windsor, and I've got a bunch of videos past a little over a year now about my kidnapping from Buckingham Palace and my father's takedown, Edward VIII, who was legally wed to my mother, Claudia Ruth O'Keeffe, Windsor, born in Madison, Wisconsin, sister to artist Georgia O'Keeffe. I didn't find out about my kidnapping until '83, late '83, when I was flown out to Larry Flint's, who helped me in a political campaign to replace U.S. Congressman Larry McDonald. I had written about him in a medical malpractice book about deaths that happened at Piedmont Hospital, where he was a physician. Warren and Rosina Matthews were forensic pathologists, and they were murdered. Excuse me, and Gene Srokerman, but it had its connections writing about him to other things. Center for Disease Control, I was writing about them, and Emory University. But the point I wanted to make now, I found out about my kidnapping, and I was brought to Moulton, Alabama in '41, given the name of a twin. Both twins, Peggy and Carl Dempsey, were deceased. They were killed by their mother. They were born out of wedlock. I was brought there, and it was a hellhole. The only thing I know is I was probably flown in Cortland Air Base. It had just been built near Moulton. After my kidnapping was the war and a lot of treaties, illegal treaties that were signed. I guess what gets me is I would never have known. I knew something was wrong with my growing up, but I never would have known if the Brits hadn't told me. I want to say this. I don't want to be redundant. Right now I'm so sick. 75 years old, and I don't know, that I'll ever get to go home or ever get to clear my father's name and mine, by the way, in what's been done to me here in this country. My father's Edward VIII, I said, married to my mom, Claudia O'Keeffe. He never married Wallace Simpson, the American spy. She married a double, a look-alike. And they became the Duke and Duchess of Windsor, and that's how the movie was played out by the singer. Oh, don't tell me, I've forgotten her name here. But anyway, and then there was a King's Speech, the movie not long ago, that won the Colin Firth, I believe, Academy Award. It was a total lie. He's the brother, George VI, that helped take down my father illegally with nothing but a pack of lies and helped in my kidnapping. Joe Kennedy, father to JFK, was appointed ambassador to England 36 to 46 when they kicked him out. He was appointed by Roosevelt, FDR, and the New World Order, or what's now referred to as Illuminati or global government, it was Freemasons. They helped in my kidnapping. I was watching a video just now. I chanced upon it. I haven't really watched any videos or read the books about my father. I know they're alive. Read some things that a friend of mine got from the press of telling about. Well, it was referring to my father as the double. That wasn't my father. I mean, this whole thing was so orchestrated, and then my kidnapping and the treaties that are illegal. You just have to follow what happened after '41, and you can get the gist of it. But without going any further, I've put all this, pictures of George VI, my uncle, who's illegal, Elizabeth, the whole brood's illegal. They're traitors to my country, Great Britain. I'm still here, and I've told all this, and I look at all the videos that it's been very hard for me to make. I'm kept almost penniless, and I won't get into the other things that's happened to me. But I wanted to clear my father's name and get back what's mine. I really do, and repay the Brits and Germans and some Americans, the people that helped me. And I know I can't go back and dig them out of the grave. I only wish I could, but only God can. So I don't know where that stands, you know. But most people here in this country hate me. And I finally found out why. Because I'm telling them something they don't want to know, how their country, not only, I don't say anything about that. I mean, if you want to get into it, they took this country from Great Britain in the beginning. And then I'm told, well, you took it from the Indians. So that I'm dismissed. And it's been a hellhole what they have done to me, the laws, and you talk about civil rights violations. But I want to get back to my father. When I came to Roanoke, Virginia in October of '86, I was on the street. I got here at 3 o'clock in the morning, came here and lived on Appalachian Trail and froze and starved up at Full Heart Knob here in Troutville, not far from where I am now. But getting back to that, my jobs had been shut down, and I literally was really just kicked out on the street, side of the road from one place to the other. And I remember right after I got here, and at 3 o'clock in the morning with no money and freezing to death, nowhere to go, and downtown Roanoke was scary. I've been through a lot of scary times. But anyway, there was a British lady on the bus with me coming up, and oddly enough, it was just she and I for a long time, and she sat next to me, and she told me, she said, in essence, she told me my father was still alive at that time, and that's '86. And the imposter, you go back and look, and that they write in history as being my father died in '72 and was buried. So I don't know what they did with my father's body and my mom's, but my point, too, is I had to go to the Salvation Army and Rescue Mission to try to get to a night's stay, and then you're out on, and that's a horror story all on its own, when I haven't broken the law. And I've had things on me to show people. I always managed to keep it on me, but they didn't care. So anyway, I was staying at the rescue mission. You had to go a couple of nights. That's all they would let you stay back then. And you had to go to their church meeting. And a lady came in, and a few days later, I thought I had seen pictures of my Aunt Georgia O'Keeffe, and she used a cane, but I never knew until '83 that who my mom and dad really were about my kidnapping. But anyway, this lady came in, and she sat down to the right about 2 rows up with a cane, and she had the black dress that Georgia was famous for wearing. And a few days later, I had managed to get a live-in for a couple of days, and I remember I had $12 on me. That's all I had to my name. That's why this whole thing, my name, who I am, and it was okay to do it to me, and my dad and mom and country. But anyway, she was no, it was when I came out, either that next morning after seeing her or the next one, she was lying on well, it was dangerous, but she came out to me and touched me, and she said, she didn't introduce herself. She says, I chose to sleep out tonight, and it was really cold, and she brought the man that I later found out is one Hamilton, who really ended up inheriting illegally. It was illegal, Georgia O'Keeffe's ghost ranch and all, paintings and a bunch of stuff. But anyway, I thought it odd, and I ended up, after I'd managed to get the few bucks, I ended up a few days later, and I was downtown Main Library, Roanoke, and she was standing there. And I remember she went over to the child section, and she asked me to come over there. And I look back now, and I know what she was telling me, because I thought she had no money. And I reached up, and I don't usually kiss people on the cheek. My children, I would. I do. I love them, but I don't know. That's kind of a personal thing.